If you've been rocking with this channel for a minute, you already know we keep it real when real things happen in this league. And what happened in Boston on Saturday night? That was real. That was historic. That was the kind of thing people are going to be talking about for decades. The Philadelphia 76ers walked into TD Garden as the number 7 seed, down 3-1 in the series, written off by half the league. And they came out of there with a 109-100 Game 7 victory over the Boston Celtics. Let that breathe for a second. This is only the 14th time in NBA playoff history that a team has come back from a 3-1 deficit to win a series. 14 in the entire history of this league. And the 76ers just became one of them. Now, before we get into the game itself, we have to talk about the historical weight of what just happened here, because the numbers alone are staggering. Before Saturday night, the Boston Celtics had never, not once, lost a playoff series after taking a 3-1 lead. They were 32-0, 32 series, not a single blown lead. That was their identity. That was their insurance policy. When the Celtics go up 3-1, the series is over. That was the understood reality of the Eastern Conference for years. On the other side, the 76ers came in 0-18 in series where they trailed 3-1. 0-18. That's not a cold streak. That's a franchise curse. That's a pattern so consistent it had become part of the Sixers' narrative. They could never close it out when the wall was highest. So when these two franchises stood across from each other on Saturday night, it wasn't just a Game 7. It was the immovable object meeting the unstoppable force. And somehow, someway, Philadelphia moved the object. Now let's talk about the man who made it happen, because there is no way to tell this story without starting with Joel Embiid. If you followed this series from the jump, you know Embiid wasn't even available for the first 3 games. He came into the playoffs recovering from emergency appendectomy surgery. He didn't step on the floor until Game 4. The Celtics had already built their 3-1 lead before he even laced up a postseason sneaker. Think about what that means. Think about the pressure that comes with walking back into a playoff series down 3-1, coming off of surgery against a Boston team that had historically never let anyone out of a hole like that. Most players in that situation would have been managing expectations, playing it safe, protecting the narrative. Joel Embiid played like he had something to prove. In Game 7, he finished with 34 points, 12 rebounds, and 6 assists. And on the season series as a whole, despite missing the first 3 games entirely, Embiid became the first player in NBA history to score at least 100 points in a playoff series while sitting out 3 of those games. First player ever in the entire history of professional basketball. Jaylen Brown, who gave everything he had in a losing effort with 33 points, put it plainly after the game. He said Embiid put a lot of pressure on them, that their bigs and their guards struggled to find answers for him. He was a big body, and there was no clean solution. But Brown also added something else. He accused Embiid of flopping throughout the game. And look, we're going to report it the way it happened. That's what Brown said. Whether you believe Embiid was drawing contact or embellishing it is going to depend on who you root for. What's not up for debate is the scoreboard. Now, beyond Embiid, this was not a one-man show, and it's important that we make that clear. Tyrese Maxey put up 30 points, 11 rebounds, and 7 assists in Game 7. Embiid and Maxey are now just the 3rd duo in league history to each record 30 or more points and 10 or more rebounds in a Game 7 on the road. The only other pairs to do it, Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe Bryant in 2002, and Dolph Schayes alongside George Yardley all the way back in 1959. So when we talk about the Embiid and Maxey era in Philadelphia, understand that what they did on Saturday night puts them in genuinely elite historical company. And it wasn't pretty the whole way through. This was not a wire-to-wire blowout. The Celtics fought. They made it uncomfortable, especially in the 4th quarter when Boston opened on a 16-4 run to pull within 92-91. The lead that had been as big as 18 points was down to 1 possession. The Garden got loud, the momentum shifted, and that's when Maxey stepped up. He scored 8 of Philadelphia's last 10 points in the final stretch, including a crucial layup with 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining. The Celtics missed their next 10 shots down the stretch, and Philadelphia pulled away to seal it. We also have to acknowledge VJ Edgecombe, who came off the bench and dropped 23 points. A young player on a big stage, not blinking, Paul George added 13. Derek White kept Boston in it with 26 points and 5 three-pointers, and Neemias Queta gave them 17 and 12 off the bench. The Celtics weren't quiet, they just couldn't close it. Now here is the elephant in the room that we have to address, and we're going to address it respectfully, because when a player is dealing with a physical issue, we don't throw fuel on the fire unnecessarily. Jason Tatum did not play in Game 7. Tatum was ruled out approximately 90 minutes before tip-off with left knee stiffness. He had briefly left Game 6 in the third quarter for treatment to his left calf, and the medical team made the call that he would not play. Coach Joe Mazzulla had initially indicated Tatum would be available. He wasn't. Now people are going to debate what that means. They're going to say the Celtics didn't lose. They forfeited the series by default. That argument is going to live on the internet for a long time, and we understand why people feel that way. Tatum is one of the best players on the planet. His absence was significant. But here's the counter that has to be part of this conversation. The Celtics were still at home. They still had Jaylen Brown, who was extraordinary throughout this series. They made lineup changes. They started Baylor Shireman, Luka Garza, and Ron Harper Jr. alongside Brown and Derek White. And the 76ers still led for all but 31 seconds of the entire game. Philadelphia fell into a 9-0 hole early in the second quarter before steadying themselves. But for the majority of this contest, they controlled it. That's not luck. That's not a gift from an injury. That's a team executing under maximum pressure. The Celtics were 32-0 holding a 3-1 series lead. The 76ers were 0-18 when trailing 3-1. Tatum in or out, those histories still existed, those odds were still real, and Philadelphia shredded both of them. Now here is where we have to look forward, because the Sixers aren't done. They now move on to face the New York Knicks in the Eastern Conference semifinals. Philadelphia, as the number 7 seed, will visit the number 3 Knicks on Monday night for Game 1. It is the first time the Sixers have advanced to the second round since 2023. And for a franchise that has been through everything in recent years, the injuries, the failed seasons, the front office turnover, this is a legitimate moment of redemption. For Embiid personally, this hits different. He admitted after Game 6 that he was tired of losing to the Celtics. He'd gone 0-3 in playoff series against Boston over his career before this. That weight was real, and he went out in Game 7 and answered it the way champions answer it. Not with words, but with production. The 76ers franchise, going back to their time as the Syracuse Nationals, improved to 2 wins and 10 losses in road Game 7s. Their only other road Game 7 win, also at Boston Garden back in 1982. 44 years between wins in the same building. The game, the history, the redemption arc, all of it came together in one night. If you've been rocking with this channel for a minute, you know we don't overreact to single moments. We stay measured. We give you the facts and let the facts speak for themselves. But the facts here are speaking loudly. What the Philadelphia 76ers did over the last 3 games of this series, winning 3 straight elimination games in Boston to complete one of the rarest comebacks in playoff history, that demands recognition. The Knicks series is next. The East is wide open, and somehow Philadelphia is right in the middle of it. That's the breakdown. Stay locked in with the channel for complete coverage of the Eastern Conference semifinals. If this is your first time coming across us, hit that subscribe button and join the community. We keep the analysis sharp, we keep it factual, and we keep it coming. We'll see you in the next one.